This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
I want to hear the answer to the following question. Sure. Why did you take the TV at that moment when you were there delivering the printer? What made you conclude it didn't look like it was being used?
This is the plaintiff, Mary Sadlin. She says the defendant, her landlord, entered her apartment, took her TV, and also swiped one of her prescription bottles. She felt violated by this man. She gave him permission to enter her apartment only once, and 2 days later, she got the heck out of Dodge. He then left her several messages proclaiming he'd like to tango with her in court. So here they are. She's suing him for $4,620 for security and rent. This is the defendant, Robert Feldman. He says he now knows the plaintiff is someone who's unstable, claiming he stole her TV in a prescription bottle. The woman breached her 1-year lease, and he did nothing wrong, because if he did, the cops would have arrested him or something. If the plaintiff thinks she's going to get a dime from him today, she's even crazier than he thought. He is accused of stealing. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $5,000 for unpaid rent.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Sadlon, you are suing Mr. Feldman, your former landlord, for $4,620, double your security under your state statute and half of your rent, plus some other charges. Because according to you, he made the place unlivable by being really creepy. And we'll talk about that in a second. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000 because according to you, she inappropriately and without legal excuse breached a lease. All right, talk to me, tell me what's going on.
I rented the apartment from Mr. Feldman in October.
And it was fully furnished?
Fully furnished. It's on the contract, which I have a copy of too.
Okay.
And I would say around December 31st, we had a conversation about, prior to that, about having a printer being dropped off at my apartment.
Okay.
Apparently, there was an issue with the Cox cable bill, and he felt that if I had a printer and a fax machine, that we could fax over to Cox Cable and get that bill straightened out a lot quicker than phone calls and 3-ways with Cox Cable.
Okay, so I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. Your landlord calls you up and says, I have a printer and I'd like to connect it. I'd like to drop it off inside your apartment.
Well, basically, it was because there was an issue with the Cox Cable bill.
Right, but didn't you say, why don't you just connect it to your own computer? Why would you not question that?
Well, I told him even on the phone
that makes it really weird on your part.
Well, okay, it sounds weird, but
yeah, it does. All right, so you agreed to have a printer foisted upon you.
Because I was in the middle of seeing a client, and I was like, I'm a VNA nurse, so I was in the middle of seeing a client. He knows I work during the day. I was like, I just didn't have time to argue.
I know it's just as fast to say no. I mean, does he live in the same building?
No.
Okay, he owns the apartment?
Yes, correct.
All right, okay, so then what happens?
And I just said, fine, just drop off the printer, and that was it. So the next thing I know is when I got home that evening, I went into the bedroom and I saw the TV missing. And then my first thought—
How big is this TV?
It's about 20-inch. And the first thought was, oh my God, it's been stolen. That was my first thought. And then I checked, I went back and I checked some voicemails and text messages, and that's when I realized that Mr. Feldman had taken the TV.
What did he say?
Well, it's on a CD voicemail.
Sure, let me hear the voicemail.
Let's see.
First saved voice message.
Hi, Mary. It's Robert. Listen, I left off the Hewlett-Packard laser printer. Second of all, it didn't look as if the TV in the bedroom was being used. And I have set up a whole basement. And certainly that's not, the man cave 60-inch, but it's a very small area that I work out and have a treadmill. If you don't mind, I would love to have it. However, if you do use it and you want it back...
Why don't you just ask her for it instead of taking it from her?
So that's it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, Mr. Feldman.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you go into your tenant's apartment and take a TV?
Firstly, I would like to say that I'm baffled by the harassment charges that are brought against me for both entering the dwelling as well as...
I'm going to try to unbaffle you now, because I'm baffled on why a landlord would walk into a tenant's apartment, take a TV without permission, and then call and say, oh, by the way, I did something because I'm making my man cave, and it didn't look like you were using it because it was off. Because apparently all of the TVs in my house right now, you should be able to take because it doesn't look like anybody's using them. They're off. It's bizarre. I want to hear the answer to the following question. Sure. Why did you take the TV at that moment when you were there delivering the printer? What made you conclude it didn't look like it was being used?
Because it was wrapped and it was against the wall as it was.
It was wrapped in what?
The cord that goes to the back.
The cord was unplugged and wrapped around the TV.
Correct.
That's what you're saying.
That's right.
Hold on. Was that true?
No.
Because you were using your TV in your bedroom.
Correct.
Okay. So the cord was unwrapped, unplugged, and wrapped around the TV. Now, when you rented it to her, was it wrapped around the TV or was it plugged in?
It was wrapped around the same way it was because it hadn't been touched.
So did that TV work?
Yes.
How'd you know? You plugged it and then you unplugged it and wrapped it around the TV?
Correct.
Can you see why I might have some difficulty with that? Well, so you take the TV, all right, and then you call and you say, if you want it back, I'll give it back. And then you do what?
Basically, I didn't respond to him until he offered to bring the TV back. And it was just via text messages because I felt very uncomfortable. I wasn't sure how to address this initially. So in the text messages that he sent back, he said I could have Joe, the maintenance person, bring the TV back.
And that's what occurred. Joe brings the TV back.
Correct. That's what I agreed to.
This little episode is over with. But at some point, you get another phone call from him.
Correct. About a week later, my partner and I were out at a restaurant in town, and I got a call from him. It was about 6 o'clock on a Saturday night. And he said that somehow he had accidentally taken my prescription bottle of naproxen.
Wait. Because did you get a phone call saying that?
I got a phone call, which I knew it was him because it would come up Robert on my phone, and then I just let it go into voicemail.
Oh, so do you have a tape of that?
Yes,
I do. Let me play that.
Next message.
Hi, Mary. It's Robert. Oh, my gosh. I just was going through my medication, and I came across a bottle of naproxen, and I realized it was your name on top of it. And it wasn't that I was sneaking around looking at what type of medication you're taking. However, there was something that Joe did with the fuse box that I wanted to check. And when I saw the naproxen, I thought I had left it there, and so I took it. So I'm going to get a bottle of that over to you straight away. And Jesus Christ, I went from being a great guy to a creep. I'm so sorry.
Okay, I can't stand it. How did that happen? Did you used to live there?
6 years.
Oh, in that place. Okay.
Correct.
And the first time you ever rented it out was to her?
Yes, I got engaged, and I moved into my
fiance. And is
wives.
that where you're living now?
Yes.
Okay, so go on.
So up until then, I thought the rapport that I had with her was great.
Okay, so you go in that day to put the printer in.
Yes,
and
I went into my home, former home, and I noticed that when I put the printer down, that the linen closet doors were open, and it is my right, and the only time that I was in my apartment, out of curiosity, that's open. I wanted to see the bedroom that's also tying into the television, where I did call her. There's no
What did you do with the linen closet that was open, and it is your right, and you were curious? What did you do?
Because in the linen closet, there were a lot of vitamins. I take a lot of vitamins, and I also take a lot of prescription medication for an inoperable mass I have in my back. And I was very surprised that I had left the prescription medication. I had left sheets, linens, everything, and I mean, it was spooky. It was exactly the way it was the day that I left it 3 months prior. That piqued curiosity on my part.
And made you take her prescription drugs?
No, not purposely. And this is where the police department stayed.
Forget the police. Look at me.
Yes, ma'am.
I have some very basic questions. I want to know what was in your head.
Okay,
forget
what
the
I
police,
did was
forget the apology, forget the phone calls that come in. I want to know what possessed you to search her linen closet, find a prescription bottle that has her name on it, and think it's yours.
Okay, first I didn't search the actual medications because there were only 3 bottles. So all I did was I scooped my vitamins along with the 2 prescriptions.
Were those his vitamins?
I believe he did have vitamins in that closet.
Okay, go on.
And just put them in the bag that I brought the laser in. That's all.
And I'm
not a bad guy. I'm not here to steal a leaf.
Well, it has to feel a little weird if you're a tenant, because you've said now twice, my home, my right. I think you have a boundary problem with understanding that you have now given up your right for it to be called your home. It is her space, and you don't have a right to go to her space and look through her closets and then take her TV because she rented it with a TV, and take her medicine because it's her medicine, and then not be thought of as it being a little odd. Actually, hold on one second, because in your answer to the complaint, I noticed the closet door was open, but there were no clothes. I thought, where are her clothes? So I start to wonder if there's something else. Were you sweet on her?
No.
Okay.
I've been with the same woman for 20 years. My father told me at 50.
You haven't married her? You've been seeing her for 20 years? That's a whole other issue.
No, it's a good thing because
it's a good thing. I don't know. It might be. I'm not sure. We're gonna hear a little more from you now. When you find out you have her pills, you call her.
Absolutely.
And you tell her, listen, I made a mistake. I'm so embarrassed. All right. So now what happens from your perspective?
Well, at that point, I felt violated, and I just didn't know when this had occurred. So at this point, I'm thinking, how many times has he been in here?
You know that he's taken a bottle, and now you're worried he's been there a different time.
Correct.
And then what?
And then I went and I sought legal advice from a friend who's also an attorney of mine, and his recommendation was to get out.
Okay.
That I felt violated, it was unsafe. There was an event that happened previous to all this where my partner and I were out. It was 11:30 at night on a Saturday. We were walking back to his car, and he was in the parking lot that night. But
why is that strange? Because he used to get his mail there.
Well, yeah, but at this point,
But he's looking in your mailbox for his mail, not asking you, have you received my mail?
Right. I mean, it was odd. It was like 11:30 late at night on a Saturday, and it just was very odd.
What was that about?
That is untrue.
She made the whole thing up?
No. If you just dial the clock back to approximately 6:30, she was coming out with a friend. I didn't know who he was. They were having some type of animated conversation. I really didn't hear it. And she just put her hand up and said, I don't want to talk. And I said, I'm not here to see you.
According to you, it was 11:30?
11:30.
Can you come on up?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Do you remember that evening?
I do.
And what time was it?
It was 11:30, quarter to midnight.
Okay. Were you guys coming home or were you leaving?
No, we were in the process of leaving.
All right, so now you decide that you're going to leave, and how do you break it to him?
I just said that, I was no longer comfortable, felt violated in this dwelling.
And his response to that was what?
And I just wanted my deposit back.
And his response to that was what?
I would love to tango with you in court.
Okay, will you go ahead and play those messages for me? Yeah. I'll tell you when I want you to go to the next one.
Next message.
Did you pay January rent?
Still doing what
Yes, I
thought
did.
he was going to be doing.
Okay. So you moved out in January when?
January
On the
15th.
Procton, I thought that
I
was
notified
my
him on the
Procton, and I
16th
left
via
there.
text.
But you were paid up for all of January.
Correct.
With reference to TV.
But you are now suing for half of
You
January.
weren't even
Correct.
using it. I needed it for a day or two, and I returned
Your
it.
deposit was $1,900. I needed it for a day or two?
Again, I came in with your permission.
Rewind that. Is that what he just said?
Yes.
I needed it for a day or two?
So,
You didn't mention that? That he said that on a recording? Let me hear that again.
good.
Next message.
With reference to the TV, it looked as if you weren't even using it. I needed it for a day or two,
Oh, the
and I
TV.
returned it promptly.
Okay. All right. All right. Turn it off a second. Did you ever call the police?
Yes.
When did you call the police?
When my attorney recommended that after he refused to give me my
Boy,
deposit
nuclear
back.
option all over. That's the problem when you ask an attorney how to handle something that has to do with just like life. All right. So the
Well, I do
police
feel
came
violated.
over. Can I see the police report? That's what you have.
Yes.
So what happens? The police come knocking on your door.
No, I was called by the police after apparently she had gone to them and telling them that I had gone into the dwelling on more than a handful of occasions without permission.
Well, you understand why she thinks that, because it was a week and a half later that you mentioned the naproxen. But in any event, feels that Feldman got into there several times, is harassing her. She did not feel comfortable staying in the apartment. She moved out. She sent him a letter. I spoke to Feldman in person at the police department. He brought in an empty naproxen container. He explained that he took the medication container, but claims it was empty. Sadlin claims there were approximately 17 pills left. Was the bottle empty?
Yes.
You say he's lying.
Correct.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So if, as crazy as this sounds, if your landlord goes into your apartment, takes your TV because he says, oh, she's not using it, what would you do?
I would sue. I would go file a police report. I'd be
For theft. Okay, that's kind of interesting. What about?
I'd probably deduct it from the rent.
Well, that's actually interesting. I mean, I would go after the TV. What would you do?
I'd file a report.
What's weird is not one of you guys said I'd move out. That's interesting. Nobody said you'd move. That's kind of interesting. Go inside the courtroom.
So let me ask you this. She kept the security deposit, and the reason that you didn't return it to her is because you feel that she breached a lease and she didn't have a right to.
Without any
Okay, so what this
equivocation.
all boils down to is what is reasonable. And you feel that she doesn't have a right to leave if she sees you there, because it's a free country and you can be there. If she finds out you took a TV without asking her, and if she finds out a week later that you took her pills without it, you don't think that's weird and
like
creepy? And you don't think she has a right to wonder about, maybe I hear you. You're telling me I'm a perfectly reasonable, nice guy, judge, and this is all just like, I look bad. But wouldn't you agree at least that you look bad?
It could, in a certain light.
Right.
But I will tell you this much. I sought, number one, permission to help, and that was with the laser printer. Number two, the medication.
Which looked nice until the other stuff happens. Then it looks like you're just trying to get in there.
Okay. However, the police, after their investigation of harassment, it says, we believe Feldman did not steal anything. And up until then, I didn't think that there was any type of bad blood between Ms. Sadlin and myself.
But what you have to learn is that there are boundaries. It is not, she doesn't want to live with you. You're not her friend, you're not her roommate. You're a guy who collects rent once a month, and that's all she wants to hear from you. She doesn't want you taking things that belong to her because she leased that apartment furnished, which means she leased that TV. No matter what, you shouldn't have taken anything out of there. But the problem is that you take something out of there because you feel like it's still your place, and it's not. You're renting it out and you're making income. You're paying how much?
$1,300.
Right, so it's not your place. I mean, at some point, it's kind of creepy. I once had a landlord when I was in law school who called us to complain. We were 5 women living, and they called us to complain that there was clothes everywhere. And he wanted to know why there was underwear on the floor. And I was aghast. You don't go through my stuff. You're not my father. Who do you think you are? It was really kind of, I felt like he was looking through my drawers or something. It was really uncomfortable. You have to know boundaries, and you kind of don't. And, even the repeated phone calls made her feel uncomfortable. I find that she had a right to go ahead and no longer live there. I don't think that was unreasonable on her part. Why are you suing for $70 for notarized voicemail message? What the heck's that?
So we can listen to what we listen to.
What is that? How's that notarized?
The notarized, I guess they guarantee that it's not tampered with.
May I say one thing, Your Honor? May I say one thing?
It truly is. I can hear the voice messages. You have a counterclaim against her for $5,000 for rent.
Without
for
question.
February, she stopped paying rent in January, and she's suing for half of January. So February rent she didn't pay through September, which is the end of the lease, right? Did you re-rent the place? Because I saw in some text messages to her that you changed the locks 2 days after she left. That's what you said.
Actually, the day she left.
The same day she left.
Correct.
You changed the locks. So she couldn't get in if she wanted to. Why would she end up paying all this rent? But you also re-rented it.
Yes.
But as of what day?
March 1st was the effective date.
Okay, so
and it's
under
right
no
here.
circumstances, you don't get rent twice, so you would never be entitled to that.
May I
I find that this is strange enough that a person could feel,
May I say one thing?
No, we're done. I don't know that it rises to the level of legal harassment. I don't think, certainly not criminal. I think it's creepy. And I feel like if you're renting a place, you don't have to wait for something to go wrong. If you pick up a newspaper and you read it, it just makes you feel uncomfortable, and I think she's right. So now we have a little problem, which is that you live in a state that's really tough on landlords. If you don't send a letter within 30 days stating why you are withholding a security deposit, you automatically owe double the security deposit. Did you send her a letter?
No.
You now owe double. You owe double. Wow. So I'm finding in your favor in the amount of $4,550, which is double the security deposit and half the rent in January. That's my verdict. And 0 on the counterclaim.
All right. Was there more that you wanted to say that you didn't get to say there?
All I have to say is I wish no animus towards her, nothing bad.
You understand how she could, and the judge too, can see a boundary problem on your part?
If they're not given all of the information, absolutely, 100%. And the fact is, I learned something, which is good, and that's it. How's that?
What'd you learn?
What about the deposit part?
Oh, okay, the legal part. All right, head right around the corner this way.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so step in here. What do you feel coming out of the courtroom after all this?
I just want to thank the People's Court and everyone that's been supportive. And
what do you suspect was going on?
Yeah, I think there is a prescription drug abuse problem with him. I'm a psychiatric nurse. I deal with that a lot.
You think that's at the bottom of the whole thing?
Oh, well, I think that's a big piece of it.
Okay, over to Harvey.
Kurt, by the way, there are other states that require landlords to itemize exactly what they're deducting, and they have to do it within a certain period of time, or they're going to be hit with penalties. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Vanessa Clark. She says she went to visit her parents at their housing complex, parked in a legal visitor parking spot, and the overanxious defendant towed her. She had her 3 young kids with her. The defendant caused her a whole heap of heartache, and she's here to prove her innocence and get her hard-earned $189 returned. This is the defendant, Bobby Scores. He says the plaintiff was most definitely not parked in a visitor parking spot. She chose to ignore the signs directing her to visitor parking, and that's why she got towed. End of story. He's accused of towing the line.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, the plaintiff says the defendant jumped the gun and towed her at a housing complex. But the defendant says the plaintiff ignored the sign, so tough. It's the case of my sign is plaintiff.
You, Douglas. Vanessa Clark and Nicole Enriquez. Okay, who's who?
I'm Vanessa.
And Nicole, what is your relationship to her?
I'm her mother.
Okay. You are suing Bobby's Towing. Bobby Scores, you're the owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For $189 for unlawfully towing your vehicle, you say. Tell me what happened.
I came into the parking lot in the complex.
What parking lot is this?
Tubman Terrace Complex.
And it's you were there because?
To visit in-laws.
Okay.
So I visited for a couple hours. I was very aware of parking in my spot in visitors parking.
Do you have a spot there? No, you mean parking in a visitor spot?
Yeah.
Okay. How are the visitor spots marked?
I do have a picture. The spot is marked with an arrow, and it's like maybe a lane worth. Two arrows.
Let me see. I mean, do they have those? What do you call those things?
There's 2 signs there, and the arrows point in.
That's it? That's how a person knows that it's a visitor spot?
Yep.
Okay.
They're not marked visitors or anything like that. They just have the sign.
Okay. All right, so go on.
So I parked directly in the closest spot because I do have 3 small children. I wanted to be as close as possible.
Which spot did you park in? Is it in this picture?
To
or
the
no?
right. Kind of. I tried to show exactly how it is. Yes. Yep, to the right.
Okay, go on.
So I visited for a couple hours. I came out and my car was missing. They didn't show me a picture.
Could you have parked in the one next to it by accident? Maybe all the spaces were taken up? Maybe, well, not to your knowledge. What is it?
I'm 100% sure.
Have you ever had, has anybody ever talked to you about the parking rules in that place, or have you?
Yes, my in-laws, every time I come in, they say, be aware, did you park in the right spot? Because the parking situation there, people get told all of the time. So I did double check and I was in the right spot.
Okay, and then when you came out, your car was missing. And what happened?
So I gave a call to Bobby's Towing, and he had to make a call to double check himself. I guess he wasn't working that day, but his employees did, in fact, tow my car. So when I went to go pick up the car, they wouldn't show me a picture. I had no proof. I just pretty much had to give the $189 or have a $50 fee. Yeah.
All right, so you got your car back and then you filed a lawsuit.
Yes.
Did you argue with them and tell them that you parked in the correct space?
I did say that he should have had somebody double check, whoever it was, because I shouldn't have been told.
What does that mean?
I didn't really argue, no.
Talk to me.
So, weird to you a little bit that this woman didn't complain, really, while she's watching the car? Now she says it's towed illegally?
What kind of car was it?
Doesn't matter. What would you do if your car were being towed and you thought it was illegal?
Oh, I'd definitely do whatever I can to stop it.
Would you be mad?
Absolutely.
Would you be mad?
Maybe she didn't know what they were doing. Maybe she thought that
when the car gets hooked up to the car,
they were trying to transport it to the correct place.
On a tow truck, I'm guessing not, though. Going inside the courtroom.
I was not working. I happened to be taking care of some stuff around the house that afternoon, and it was my stepson who towed the car. When I had called him, he said, yes, they did tow the car, and she was one away from where she was supposed to be parked.
Where's he?
He could not make it today, man.
Why not?
He couldn't make it. He has school, he's going in the Army, he couldn't be here.
Well, good for him, but
I know.
You weren't there.
Nope, but I have pictures, we have the rules.
You have pictures? Let me see the picture.
I have them on my cell phone.
Sure. That's awesome. You have pictures, you take a picture of the illegal parking job?
Here's the thing. Every other phone, I have pictures of every other car in here. We did not take one of hers because he had gotten a new phone, so I do not have that. I have the signs.
Not interested.
Okay.
You're right. I
don't have the picture of her car.
I know, but you know what's going on, right?
Absolutely.
I've got a person here. Did you park legally?
Yes.
Okay. And now I've got a person there. Did she park legally? Wait, I can't hear him. Wait, he's like the invisible man.
Legally.
Wait, there's no contradictory evidence to what the lady's saying. I mean, she may have very well parked illegally, but I'm kind of like in a bad spot here because you didn't bring the guy who can say so. If he was here, it'd be over. Did to. I know you guys are not in the business of towing legally parked cars because you're not going to keep your tow contract very long if you do. With the establishment.
Correct.
Right, but...
Your Honor, I understand.
Right. Verdict for the plaintiff, $189.
Bobby scores. Not this time he doesn't. All right, turn this way. So you know how it goes. The tow man's always the bad guy.
Absolutely.
That makes you in that role right now.
Yep, and that's where we're at.
All right, Bobby scores.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Right down this way. Great name, bad defense. All right, step on in here. Are you satisfied how this comes out?
Yes.
Right? When you saw that he didn't have his evidence on the other side of the courtroom here, did you realize what was going on in there?
Yes, very happy to have won. Justice is served.
Anything against Bobby's scores over there?
Next time they should just double check when they're towing.
Maybe you should take a picture, too, of where you parked.
Yeah.
Just in case. Because if the other guy had shown up, you would have been in trouble in the case. It would have been a lot tougher for you if his evidence had shown up. Maybe a picture?
I don't think so.
Okay. Harvey?
So, Kurt, judges will allow witnesses or litigants to submit hearsay in small claims court, but not when it comes to the essence of the case. Then you got to do better. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by FX's The Beauty Official Podcast. Join host Evan Ross Katz on the official podcast for FX's hottest new series, The Beauty, taking you behind the scenes with its amazing stars as they discuss the show's most jaw-dropping moments. Featuring Evan Peters, Anthony Ramos, Jeremy Pope, Ashton Kutcher, Rebecca Hall, Bella Hadid, Meghan Trainor, Isabella Rossellini, Jessica Alexander, and Ari Grainer. Search FX's The Beauty wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is the plaintiff, Stacey Hanna. She says she and the defendant cleaned houses together, and the double-crossing defendant hasn't paid her in full for her services. She did her job well, due to her meticulous nature, and deserves to be compensated in full. That's why she's suing for every penny of the $778.01 she's owed. This is the defendant, Wendy Johnson. She says the plaintiff wasn't one of the best workers in the world, if you know what she means. The woman would come in late, leave early, and she should be happy she got paid what she did for the incomplete work she performed. She's accused of taking a worker to the cleaners.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket, these litigants clean houses together, and the plaintiff says the defendant hasn't anteed up her share. But the defendant says the plaintiff was a slouch. It's the case of, I'm a maid, and I want to get paid.
Stacey Hanna, you are suing your former friend Wendy Johnson for $778.01 that you want her to pay you in unpaid wages because you helped her clean houses and you were supposed to split the fee for that. Tell me what happened.
That's correct. Your Honor, on the evening of the 23rd of August, I was approached by Wendy and her mother. They said, do you want to make a lot of money? And I said, sure. I could use the extra cash. And I, at that time, indicated that I needed to find daycare or aftercare for my son because I am a stay-at-home mother. And the following week, I had that worked out. Tanner was able to attend aftercare at his school.
And then you were going to make money by doing what?
I was going to clean houses with Wendy, and that's exactly what we did on the 28th of August.
Okay, and then how do you get your clients?
I work for a small company, K&M Cleaning.
Is it your company?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so they just farm it out. They have people.
My boss told me if I wanted someone to work with me, I could do that. I could get somebody to run and clean houses with me, so I could get more work and make more money, and then I would have more time to spend with my son.
How does? I mean, do any of you do the math? If you split the fee, then you're making less money. I mean, I don't know. Is there a geometric speed to having two people?
It is faster with two people.
Of course it's faster,
right.
but
So
then you're going to split half the money, and then you have to do the next house. So unless two cleans the house 3 times as fast, the math doesn't work. Well, whatever. So that's what you decide to do. And so what do you get paid for houses, and what do you get paid for apartments?
It varies. I get anywhere between $100 and $200 per house, and then apartments I get either $50 or $55. Based on one bedroom.
Is that what she had told you?
That isn't what she told me, Your Honor.
What had she told you?
She told me that the houses were $100 a piece and the apartments were $35 a piece.
Oh. For you?
Yes.
Your half would be $100 and your half would be $35?
We would both get $35 for
you
the
would
apartment.
Each get $35 for an apartment, and you would each get $100 for a house.
for the house.
Okay. So how many houses and apartments did you clean?
We cleaned 4 homes and 4 apartment homes.
And that's how you get your 540. 4 times 100 and 4 times 35. Let me ask you a question. How did it go working with her?
Well, she took a lot of smoke breaks, which I was pretty perturbed about that because I just cleaned constantly, continually, and meticulously.
Well, how was her cleaning when she wasn't smoking?
Pardon?
How was her cleaning when she wasn't smoking?
I assume she was doing well. I was in other rooms doing my things, doing blinds and, wiping down things, scrubbing things. She typically did the kitchen.
Okay.
And I worked in other areas.
Okay. How many days did these 4 houses and 4 apartments take?
In total, 6 days. There were 6
and
trips.
so when were you expecting to be paid? Because after the first day, when you don't get paid at the end of the day, don't you say, hey, what the heck?
Yeah. Well, her mother led me to believe that she was...
Why is your mother involved?
My mother didn't lead her to believe anything.
No, why is your mother involved at all?
I mean, I live with my mom.
Yeah, but does your mother work in this business?
No, what it is that my mom is best friends with Stacy's sister, and so that's how she got involved.
Okay, well, go ahead.
So obviously they sought me out because assuming that I would be a hard worker and a good worker.
Okay. But when does a good hard worker expect to be paid?
Right.
What was the deal? You were supposed to be paid when?
I was supposed to get paid when Wendy got paid, but then the first paycheck...
So you are supposed to wait for it. So that explains why you kept working without getting paid.
Yes,
because
that's
you
correct. Yeah.
All right, so then your paycheck comes when?
My first paycheck I didn't get for 4 weeks because my boss held back 2 weeks and I had to wait.
Why?
That's just how she runs her business. So if someone cops out on her, she doesn't lose out on gear or chemicals or anything like that. So I had to wait 4 weeks before my first paycheck.
Did you ever tell her that?
Yes.
Okay. Did she tell you that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And
Absolutely told her that.
And then, so when you did get paid, what did you get paid?
The one she did work on with me on is $975 check I got, and I paid her $185 already.
Just a second. Can I see the $975 check?
Yes, ma'am.
And does it itemize the houses?
No, ma'am.
Oh, well then how will I know that covers all 8 houses? I won't know.
It's got the dates on it.
From what day to what day were you cleaning the houses? Ms.
Your
Hannah?
Honor, that would be... We started cleaning on August 28th, and we finished up on September 7th.
This paycheck is for August 29th through September 11th. I mean, you know you're being sued for specific days on the specific houses she specifically worked with you on. If you're telling me, no, Judge, I'm not, because you admit that you get 100 to 200 a house, 50 to, you actually said 50 to 60 in your answer to the complaint. It's all very vague. If you were paid specifically X on these houses, did you get something from your employer that says how much you got for the specific work that involved her? Because you know which houses to ask about.
Right. No, I didn't. I didn't get copies of that, but I will say...
How are you going to prove what you owe her?
Well, I can't prove, but how can she prove that that's what they paid?
Well, because you admit that you get 100 to 200 a house, and why would I let you say, oh, it was way less without proving it was way less? She says, I'm supposed to get 100 per house, I'm supposed to get 35 per apartment.
Right, and we split that.
Oh, no. She says she's supposed to get 100,
No,
which would be the case if you got 200 per house. So if you want to tell me that she knew she was only splitting 150 with you for that house, prove to me that that's what you got paid on that house. I mean, you're not even doing that.
Right.
So how are you suing for daycare and gas?
Well, Your Honor, I had to enroll Tanner.
No, I don't care. Listen, when I want to get to work, I also have to pay. I have to pay for gas. I have to pay for my car payment. But why does my employer have to pay me that? In other words, had she paid you the $540, we wouldn't even be here. And she sure as heck would not be paying your daycare or your gas.
That's
so
true.
Court is about making you whole, not giving you a bonanza and putting you in a better position than you would have been in.
So, okay, this could be a trick question. Can 2 people clean a house at least twice as fast as one person doing it?
No, not necessarily. The 2 people can just visit and take their time, and one person can just really get in and go at it.
Well, okay, but let's assume 2 people do a reasonable job as they walk in. Does it stand to reason that the 2 of them can clean the house at least twice as fast as one could?
I would think they could, because they can cover more ground.
Do they ever step on each other?
They could split it up. You do the kitchen, I do the other house.
That's true. Okay, nobody's biting. Going inside the courtroom.
All right, now you say you paid her some of this. How much do you say you paid her?
I paid her $185, Your Honor, and when I went to go pay her another $50, she refused it and told me.
Okay, and is it accurate that she paid you $185?
No, her mother did.
Okay, but it's how much did you receive for pay?
$80 cash.
No, she says $185.
That's false. It's $80 cash, and I needed the money, so
What
I
was the
drove
rest of
over.
it? What was the other 105 then?
It's a fictitious
Nothing.
amount.
It didn't
It's
exist.
nothing. It never happened.
You didn't get a check or something?
No, ma'am. Nothing at all.
How are you going to prove the $185 you paid her? Do you have a receipt?
I don't. No, I
Okay,
sure
you got a lot
don't.
to learn about business.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Is there? Did you have a witness?
My mother.
Is she here?
No.
No. Well, that's not
I
going to do
can't
much
prove.
good.
No, you're right. I can't prove a thing.
You know, you have the burden of proving payment.
Yes, ma'am.
How did you pay her $185?
Cash.
You gave it to your mother?
Yeah, I had to go to work. My mom stays at home.
Are you sure your mother didn't need 105?
I'm sure.
You know, when you want to prove payment, you have to have proof of it, and especially if you're in the business of paying somebody wages, and apparently she was complaining at this point from the beginning. Right, like at the time when you were going to pay her, she immediately said, "What the heck, sis?"
No, ma'am. When my mother gave her the $185, she was fine with it. When we went to go pay her again the $50, she was uneasy with that. Told my mom to go herself. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Did you tell her mother to go?
I certainly did not. I would not.
Wish
do
your mom
that.
was here.
I
I'd
wish she
love to
was
hear from your
too.
mom. All right.
I do too.
I find that she's entitled to $540. I find that you're able to prove $80 in payment because she admits to that. I find that even though you could prove $185 by bringing me the witness who paid her the $185 or an affidavit from her or anything, you're kind of really unprepared. And I find in favor of the plaintiff, therefore, in the amount of $460. You're not entitled to daycare or gas. That's my judgment. Good luck,
Thank you,
folks.
Your Honor. Thank you.
So the plaintiff didn't get quite everything she sued for, but she did win this case against you because why didn't you bring more evidence?
Yes. I just didn't prepare good enough, I guess.
So why didn't you?
Why didn't I? It was a short amount of time, stressful times. I'm working constantly, so I just didn't have time to get it done.
Well, how come when you make payment, don't you get a receipt to prove it?
Yes, and that was my mistake and a
So you've
lesson learned. Yes.
You still in this business?
Yes, I am.
Right. And so what have you learned now from losing this case?
Always get receipts, always make work logs, history, get statements that
And that's
are
how you do
notarized.
business now?
Yes,
Okay.
that's absolutely.
All right. So come on in here. Satisfied how this comes out?
I certainly am. I thought that there was a lot of false representation and
Where?
concerning her remarks and promises made that weren't delivered. So
You have any second thoughts about going into business with her originally?
No, I didn't actually.
How about now?
I certainly do. The age differential, there's several factors that
You shouldn't have done it?
I should not have done it.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, you know, if you're in business and you have to prove that you made payment to various people, you are insane not to keep a ledger. But beyond a ledger, if you don't write checks where you have something clear and something you can hold, at the very least, write an email to the other person forcing them to acknowledge if they didn't get paid.